think you need an explanation. Your program says, your order of service says that Tyson Kamakara will be playing, and that was Tyson. At the last minute, he was called away, but he was able to send us a recording. And we will also have a recording of Tyson for the postlude. So I hope you'll enjoy that very much. We come to this sacred space made more sacred in this moment by the presence and attention of each and every one of us. Friends in the pews, let's take a moment and wave at the camera near the welcoming congregation banner to send our greetings to those at home. And now, let's take a moment to turn and greet one another. Hey, go ahead. Yeah, that's okay. No problem. Welcome and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's service of the Winchester Unitarian Society, a caring religious community devoted to spiritual growth, social transformation, and environmental responsibility. For those who don't know me, I'm Martin Newhouse, and I'm the worship associate for this morning's service. As a welcoming congregation, we affirm the full inclusion of people of all sexual orientations and gender identities. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith does not require us to believe in a dogma, a tenet, or a creed, and among us we believe many different things. We prize freedom of thought and open, honest discussion and questioning because these, we believe, enrich both our spiritual lives and our work in the community. Indeed, we can still today proudly state, as the first minister of this society, Richard Metcalf, did over 100 years ago, quote, "We do not regard even the best creed as final. We look for new truths and new statements of old ones. We maintain the unlimited right of free inquiry." But while our faith does not impose any dogma or belief, we recognize that it does call on us to do certain things, and among these we recognize and affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And in that spirit, we greet with joy and fellowship all who are gathering with us this morning, both in person and via live stream. We welcome you all. And we are especially happy to welcome you to another of our 2024 summer services, which are led by lay members of the church and also staff. Today our service will be led by Julie Kuhn, whose reflection is entitled, "Always Listen to Mother Nature." After today's service, there'll be, as usual, an hour of fellowship and friendship in the Sims room, followed around between 11:15 and 11:30 with a discussion with Julie about her reflection this morning. I'll be facilitating that discussion, and this will take place in the parlor, and all are welcome to join us there. Finally, this morning, I am very glad that Stephen Parapellic is with us. Today is Stephen's last Sunday with us before he and his partner Terry leave Winchester for the wilds of New Rochelle, New York. Stephen, you have been such a wonderful member of the society. You have contributed so much, and we have all benefited so much from having you among us. We all wish you well, and we will all miss you. Can we just have applause for Stephen? And I hope you'll come visit us on occasion. Okay, that's a promise. Remember, he made a promise. Now let us open our hearts and minds to the spirit of worship with this morning's opening words.
Let's just wander here and there, like leaves floating in the autumn air, And look at common little things, stones on a beach, flowers turning into berries. From the winds, we'll catch a bit of that wondrous feeling that comes not from seeing, but from being part of nature.
For the wonder and inspiration we seek from the sun and the stars and all the lights of heaven, we light this chalice.
For the singing of our opening hymn, hymn number 21 in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. This morning's reading is When I Am Among Trees by Mary Oliver. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines. They give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. "It's simple," they say, "and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine." We now come to that part of our service, which is really a special part of our service for the summertime, and that is that we have our kind of our centering part, but unlike during the normal church year, in this part we begin by sharing our joys and sorrows, and I should say concerns, and by doing so, we also acknowledge the mutual support of this community. Then after that, we'll be together for a silence, and then we will sing a hymn seated, which is indicated in your order of service, and it's hymn number 15 in the gray hymnal, The Lone Wild Bird. Now, as we begin, I want to remind everyone, as we do, that this service is being recorded, and so anything you say, if you come up to light a candle, will be available to anyone, the general public. I often joke and say, including the FBI, but nobody here needs to worry about that. Anyway, so just be careful, be aware that whatever you say might be listened to. So you want to make sure you say something that you have no concern with anyone hearing. And I'm terrible at using this mic, I know. Okay, let me get a fire for this candle. Somehow we forgot that part. Would anyone care to come up and share a concern or a joy? Please say your name.
My name is Deb Walsh. I have two slightly bittersweet things to share. One is that I ran into one of our WCG alums, recent WCG alums, yesterday outside the bank, and it was a reminder that we have a dozen people from our church who are flying off out of the nest and just want to, for me, it's like so exciting to think about them leaving and doing their next, job or college or whatever they're going off to. But I know their families. I'm sure it's more tender than that or sad. So anyway, I want to have us keep them in mind. I know we have some still current WCGers here, so that's good, and they'll continue to. Oh, we have thumbs up over here. So that's one thing. And I just want to say personally, for you, Stephen, I will so miss you, having you here all the time, and your buoyant and joyous personality, your hard work, your dedication to the church, your worship associate, on standing committee, Heather's goodbye party, you could go on and on. Your willingness to join us as volunteers at the Women's Lunch Place and helping with Soup Jar, it's just all the things. And the only thing that makes it a little less bitter for me is that you're going to be near your parents, and who can argue with that? So wish you and Terry well, and just know that you are beloved here in our community. We'll miss you terribly. So.
Hi, I'm Julie's husband. It's my joy to welcome our close friends Paul and Beth Collins, who made the long drive to join us this morning, and to thank them for their service. Beth, who started the palliative care practice at Leahy, continues to apply her skills in Maine, to that community in Maine. And Paul is applying his exceptional chef skills to feed the food insecure in northern New Hampshire and southern Maine. But he feeds them farm-to-table stuff. Very good. So thank you.
I just want to thank everybody for being here today.
Thank you. I'll light a candle for you.
I'm Marilyn Wilson, and I have a younger brother who has recurring brain tumors, and he's got a new one, so he's in for surgery on Friday and just hoping that everything goes well. I think it will.
Good morning, I'm Donna Reed, and I just, in keeping with the theme of this morning, I was at the Jersey Shore last week for one day while I was visiting my sister, and I've been going to that beach for 71 years, and I have never had a day like I had. It was 87 degrees, the water was 70 degrees. There was no seaweed, no jellyfish, no broken shells on the beach. It was heaven on earth. And I'm just so glad that I get to experience that every once in a while. I hope everybody gets a day like that at the beach this summer.
Thank you. Betsy?
I'm Betsy Bowles, and maybe you're like I am, but you come here Sunday after Sunday, or in my case, you come here not quite as much as that, but I come here and I notice things every now and then, like there used to be red carpet going down this aisle, and all of a sudden there are flowers up there today, and there are always flowers in our vestibule and in our foyer. And you know who does this? Who do you think polishes those pews that you're sitting in? Chuck Kewen. And who does the flowers? Julie Kewen. I want to light a candle for these two people. There are a lot of people I could light candles for, but today's their day. So I want to light a candle in appreciation for both of them, for all the things that you do that we don't always notice. So thank you so much.
Hello, I am Beth Collins, lucky enough to be great friends of both Julie and Chuck, and humbled by what Chuck said, but I just wanted to light this candle for all of you. So we lived in Winchester for 20 years. I was busy at Leahy. My husband was busy with his job, and we were busy taking care of my parents and our kids. My son, who is now 36 and a rock musician, is a proud graduate of Wussy G. And I have to say, Wussy G got my son through high school, honestly. It was one of the best things in the world. I remember he came home one day and told my husband and I that he signed the book. And we didn't know what that meant, but, you know. And my mom's funeral was held here. We were not Unitarians, but we had her funeral here. And to this day, it was the best funeral I've ever been to. So I want to light a candle for this place, which even though we're not members of, is a wonderful, wonderful place. And I know I've learned that through Julie and Chuck. So this is for you.
Would anyone else like to come forward? If not, then I'm going to light one last candle for all the joys and sorrows that we hold in our hearts and those that are held in the hearts and unspoken by those who are joining us via live streaming.
All right, I'm going to speak here so that I can see the slides and make sure I'm in sync with the slides. I'm going to try to do, as Heather has taught us, hold the microphone like an ice cream cone. So if you can't hear me, raise your hand and I'll try to correct what I'm doing. So come walk with me today on paths and church grounds and sidewalks you may have been on hundreds of times. But let's walk with a different perspective, to be inspired by the power of Mother Nature, to see her beauty in unexpected places and in all seasons, and maybe ponder some of our mysteries together. For Proust says, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. When we speak of power of Mother Nature, we most often think of her fury and devastation that she can create. And most certainly we see that every year with tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and other natural disasters. But too often we fail to recognize the power, positive power, of Mother Nature. We've been lucky this year to see the power and beauty of Mother Nature on a grand scale with 2 mega events, the total eclipse and the aurora borealis. But we also see her power in the grand oak tree on the common and the massive buttressing tree trunk of this dawn redwood at Mount Auburn Cemetery. As a quick aside, if you've never been to Mount Auburn Cemetery, please go. It is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Yes, it's a cemetery, but it's so much more than that. It was established in 1831 and is as the nation's first landscape cemetery. You can drive around it, but you get a much better feel for it if you drive your car and then park it and get out and walk and explore, walk amidst the magnificent collection of trees and shrubs and discover the dells, the hidden lagoons, the really ornate statues and monuments, and the serene ponds. The last time I was there, I discovered this monument. Bliss is one word that describes how I feel when I am there. So back to power. Our centennial oak was planted in 1966, and it commemorates to commemorate our 100th anniversary. Since then, it has withstood blizzards, droughts, gypsy moth infestations, and frankly, years of benign neglect by the congregation. Yet it continues to grow. That Mother Nature is showing us strength and power and resilience with all of this that she also puts on the oak. Many of us look forward to the flowering cherries along Mystic Valley Parkway. But what I most marvel at is how many of those old cherries still bloom in spite of the core trunk half gone and almost non-existent bark. Indeed, what incomparable spirit, what power and resilience. Perhaps that's Mother Nature's reminder that no matter how old and scarred we are, we can still be beautiful and produce beautiful things. And persistence goes hand in hand with power. Talk about being between a rock and a hard place. I love seeing Mother Nature just doing her thing with no human interference. Now let's focus on beauty on our walk with Mother Nature. It's so easy to find examples of visual beauty in Mother Nature. Fields of lupin, or the intricate beauty in the detail of a tulip, or color in our own church landscape. Sometimes you have to be patient and look closely and just sit. This picture on the left of the bee on the butterfly was taken a few weeks ago in the pollinator garden. But on my walks, I love finding Mother Nature in unexpected places. Look at this little white flower on the petal that looks just like its parent. It looks like a little sticker on the rock. And I never fail to love seeing the beads of dew that collect on the lady's mantle. They look like little beads of mercury. But Mother Nature is not just about visual beauty. Beauty touches all senses. I love walking in the fells with friends, but I also love walking by myself. And I see people with their earbuds in or talking on their phone, and I want to say, just silence those. Put the phone in your pocket and listen. Listen to the songbirds or the tap, tap, tap of the woodpecker. Or if you're really, really lucky, you might hear that crystal clear call of a wood thrush in the silent forest. Or feel the texture of lichen on a tree trunk, or that rippled corrugation of a hosta leaf. And can't you just smell those lilacs? And from deafblind activist Helen Keller's perspective, to me, a lush carpet of pine needles or spongy moss is more welcome than the most luxurious of Persian rug. We're lucky in the fall, after summer, that we have another season of riotous color. Garden writer Sydney Edison reminds us of how the leaves turn color this way. She says, "It seems nothing short of miraculous that the vivid hues of autumn have been there all along, masked by the green of chlorophyll. As the days draw in and the arteries that transport fluid to the leaves begin to contract, the water supply dwindles. So the chlorophyll, which is continually broken down by sunlight, is no longer replaced. And at last, the colors of autumn triumph." Those gorgeous colors were there all along. Now is the time of the illuminated woods, when every leaf glows like a tiny lamp. But then the first frost comes, our garden pots are emptied, our tools are put away, the lawnmower is replaced with a snowblower, and we tend to turn inward. And many forget to look for winter beauty in Mother Nature. With leaves off the trees 6 months of the year, we can do better than winter mummies. We need to look at the winter landscape with new eyes. See beauty in shape and form, in the snow-covered form of rows of trees, the curve of a hedge, or that beautiful light buff color of the beech trees' leaves, or a simple sedum left to capture the first snowfall. Winter beauty is seen in different colors and textures of bark and evergreens, of lines and edges. And color, is this not just as beautiful as a rose in June? And there are flowers in winter. This is a hellebore called Christmas rose. The picture was taken on Christmas Day. Flowers in December, how cool is that? This is planted in the Main Street entrance of the church, so look for it next December. Thank you, Mother Nature, for your beauty in all seasons. So we've looked at power, we've looked a bit at beauty in Mother Nature. Now one of the most fascinating parts to me of Mother Nature is her mystery. Things we see in Mother Nature that can't easily be explained. For those of you who walk frequently in the fells, you may be familiar with this part of our walk. On the Long Pond Path, there is an azalea that blooms in riotous color a couple of weeks in early May. How did it get there? Certainly it wasn't planted by anyone other than Mom Nature. I've walked in the fells for over 40 years and on many paths, and I've never seen another azalea in the fells. Isn't it a mystery that a tiny seed from who knows where plunked itself down and flourished and grew, giving us beauty year after year? Lady slippers in the fells are also another mystery, for they never come up in the same place. You can't anticipate from year to year where they'll be or if they'll be. They're far fewer than there were 40 or 20 years ago, when I used to walk with our boys in the fells, and we would see big stands of lady slippers that we call lady slipper parties. Today, I just love happening on a lady slipper, knowing that only Mother Nature knows the secret of when or where they'll be. There's something in Mother Nature that draws us to mystery. Have you ever noticed that when you're walking or hiking and you're looking for a place to turn around, you tend to want to go up around the corner or to the top of the hill to see what's over the hill. Why is that? Why is it? We're drawn to the unknown. The appeal of the curved path lies largely in the sense of mystery that it creates. There is mystery in what is around the corner. We want to find out more. Secret gardens provide another type of mystery. They've been in existence since the very beginning of history. Some say Garden of Eden was a secret garden. Secret gardens are gardens within gardens, not easily seen because they're off the major sight lines of what you're normally seeing. They could be walled off, as they were in medieval gardens, or like the mysterious overgrown garden in the beloved children's book, The Secret Garden, by Frances Hodgkin Burnett. This garden at Great Maytham Hall in England supposedly was the inspiration for her book. The great French and Italian Renaissance gardens built in the 17th century frequently contained one garden apart from the more public gardens, not immediately visible, that you happened upon or discovered through a bosque of trees or from a series of steps or around a curving walk. They frequently were places with activities that were unique or distinct from the public, more active parts of the garden. The most famous secret garden, or Giardino Segreto, at Villa Farnese at Caparola, shown here, is reached through a dense bosque of evergreens, not visible until you reach the top of the stairs. And it's a beautiful treat when you get there. As garden historian Rose Standish Nichols wrote in her book, Italian Pleasure Gardens, at twilight, when the mystery deepens, with the wind rustling through the pines and the pleasant murmur of running water soothing the senses, this is indeed a garden of the gods, fit to stir the imagination of a poet. While our meditation garden at the church is far from an Italian villa garden, it has many of the same elements of a mysterious secret garden. A curving walk that we're drawn to explore because we can't see the end. A hidden sitting area not visible from the busy street or the school next door. A place that is set apart and unique to the church grounds. A place that invites contemplation. Somewhere in every garden there must be at least one spot, a quiet garden seat, in which a person or two people can reach inside themselves and be in touch with nothing but nature. Where's your garden seat? So we've almost finished our walk, but there's one more mystery I'd like you to contemplate. What is it that's so special about emerging foliage in the spring? Yes, the days are warmer and we shed our heaviest of coats and the trees are no longer bare. But there's a specific color in this spring growth that is ubiquitous. People describe this color as spring green. We see it everywhere, in the tiny new needles on dark evergreens. The invasive Norway maples redeem themselves for 1 month in beautiful spring green flowers. Even moss in the spring is a brilliant spring green. When Chuck and I lived in London eons ago, we met somebody who used color theory in her healing practice. She believed that specific colors evoke different feelings or emotions in us. She taught that the color spring green was therapeutic. If you focused, really focused on that color, she believed it had healing, restorative power. For some, this may seem like a bunch of hogwash, but I ask you to put aside your disbelief for a moment and float with me on the possibility that there's something to that. From the leafless, cold winter, Mother Nature surrounds us with this color for growth and new beginnings, a world of possibilities. What if she's giving us a chance with spring green to heal and be restored? What if? Another mystery of Mother Nature. So we've walked together this past hour, maybe recognizing anew some of Mother Nature's power and beauty in unexpected places. And I've asked you to consider a few of her mysteries in a new way with new eyes. I'd like to close with these words, also from Gwen Frostic. Yellowed leaves floating in the air, bare stalks stand erect, holding next year's pussy willows to the sky. Thus, there is no beginning and no ending, only a slow blending, day into night, fall into winter into spring. Beauty, to the eye that beholds it, is the one consistency.
Thank you, Julie, for that really beautiful reflection. Our weekly offering is an opportunity of dedication, an invitation to live our values through acts of generosity. In this way, the offering is a spiritual practice, a collective affirmation of our shared values and commitments to the mission of this liberal religious congregation. Those attending via the live stream will soon see information about how to donate. Those in the sanctuary are also welcome to donate electronically. You may find more information about that in your order of service. If you are visiting us for the first time, we invite you to be our guest. The most valuable thing you can offer is your completed visitor information card so that we can stay connected beyond this Sunday. Those in the sanctuary may find blank cards in the pew rack in front of you, and please put your completed card in the plate, or if you haven't completed it soon enough, you can leave it in the office. Information displayed on the live stream about electronic giving also includes the URL for the virtual visitor card. The morning offering will now be generously given and gratefully received. I'd like to take a moment to thank Chris Wygand for playing the music for our hymns this morning, and also for that lovely playing of Claude Debussy's Clair de Lune. Those who wish to do so are invited to join in the unison affirmation that is in your order of service. We gather not for ourselves alone, but to use our common power to build the beloved community within and beyond these walls. Recreate and reaffirm this covenant this day, to make justice flourish, to practice compassion amidst difference, and to embody transformative love. I should also say that Chris gave the reflection last week, and now he's playing the music, so he's a real contributor to our summer services. Please rise in body or in spirit to sing our final closing hymn, number 207 in the gray hymnal, Earth Was Given as a Garden.
We only have this moment, sparkling like a star in our hands and melting like a snowflake.
Please join me in reciting the words in your order of service for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our service today is ended, but our life of service continues. Let us have some time of friendship in the Sims room for refreshments and conversation, to be followed by those who would like to talk with Julie further about her wonderful reflection this morning.